In a world full of film and TV news.
This just in.
Breaking news for you now.
Gotta interrupt you here. We have some breaking news.
To another story that is breaking overnight.
3 men have joined forces to bring you
Hello and welcome back to the Weekly Cut, where we get into all things TV and film. Sometimes we argue. I'm not entirely sure we like each other. Host this week, as always, it's the trio of desserts. Connor?
I have my headphones back today. Happy days.
That felt like a massive moment. We got Craig, as always,
hello.
And myself, Brad. Obviously, socials, check us out at Weekly Cut, Linktree on all the bios. Obviously, all the big stories we're going to be discussing first before we get into Jungle Cruise. And how about this for a nautical pun? Does it sail or does it sink?
Very good.
Oh, yes. I saved that one from earlier. But, yeah, obviously, we'll get into the big news stories. We're going to kick off with Craig first. We've got some good talking points.
All right, let's go. So, the biggest talking point this week, as I think every week until it's going to fucking get a trailer or come out, is Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah.
Now, amongst other photos we've seen of Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Jacob Batalon, I don't think was it no Tobey Maguire. I didn't see any of
I didn't see him, no.
no.
Just him see him the video
in the park.
In the park. He looked really worried and concerned and just sort of waved. But
it was quite weird.
Good to see you, Tony.
But yeah, so the biggest photo that come out was, now they are both masked, and we know that it's definitely Kirsten Dunst. And the other woman she's working with definitely looks a lot like Deborah Ann Wolfe, who played Karen in a Daredevil series, which we spoke about last week, and we're going to speak about again. It is heavily rumoured that he will appear, like Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox's Daredevil, both in this and in the She-Hulk series. And it makes sense that, you know, Karen would be a part of it as well. It's sort of his, will they, won't they, get together and ends up being a secretary at the law firm. But again, that opens up the big doors. So, you know, she was heavily in the Punisher, John Bernthal Punisher series as well. But she's come out and said directly to the tweet with the photo, it's not her. Now, some people have done some digging, and there were some quite creepy ones. One in particular got a picture of her ear.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And compared it to the ear
My God.
in that photo. And to be fair, he convinced me.
Yeah.
The ear is very much the same.
I wouldn't say us three are. I know Craig Banter sort of takes the piss a little bit and jokes and says, like, the trailer's coming and stuff like that. Yeah. But none of us are those fans that, like, are desperate and believe it's... Like, obviously, we want to see it. But that is bullshit. That was her.
Yeah.
Like, we're not one of those people. We're not those guys that would say, try and stir rumours or make something up. It's you, Deborah.
Yeah. And also, I mean, we got a lot of comments, a lot of likes on that post. I think it was near on 8,000 or whatever. And I can't remember the amount of comments, but there was a lot of them saying, it's not her. She said it. We know that. I actually put it on this story straight after the thing, saying, calling bullshit on it.
Yeah.
Because I started commenting back to people and I gave up because there was too many of them saying, it's not her, it's like, whatever. But my biggest thing back is the Jonathan Majors Loki thing that we had. He was interviewed in a comic shop while he'd been cast as Kang for Ant-Man Quantumania, and he was asked, is he in the Loki series? And his reply was, I don't even know there was a Loki series or it's coming. And obviously he'd already filmed all his parts by then. So you cannot believe Marvel actors.
Absolutely not.
They either say nothing or they say a lie.
Yeah.
That's basically what happens. Or unless you're Mark Ruffalo or Tom Holland in the early days, who just spoil things. But
Paul Rudd done it on the red carpet once. He went, I can categorically confirm I am not Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And then literally about a month later, the story broke.
So Hollywood's just full of lies.
it is.
But that's the way to do it.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
That is the way you do it. Like we've said about when Andrew Garfield was interviewed or Tom Holland was asked about, are the other Spider-Man in it? They go, I don't know if about it. She's done it right by saying, that's not me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not in it. And she may not be. And people commented, going, they're actresses in LA. They could hang out with each other. I get that. It's a weird to hang out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's odd. Plus, all the rest are doing reshoots there.
Exactly.
And the other photos have come out. But again, all they're doing is increasing speculation, and we just need a trailer. I mean, she's Deborah Ann Wolfe's Karen. She probably ain't going to be in the trailer. There's not really a big need for her to be in the trailer. It wouldn't really matter. But
people were bringing up a picture of her friend.
That's
Kirsten's friend. They do look strikingly similar, to be fair.
Was that a wedding
Kirsten Dunst's friend?
Yeah. They look similar. Same build, same...
She does, to be fair.
You've just ruined it for me.
But
She does look similar, but Again, Kirsten Dunst there when reshoots are happening as well. Reshoots have been confirmed to be happening. We know that is going on at the moment. Andrew Garfield's been pictured there. He doesn't live in LA.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he can't go visit, obviously, but it's just strange and too much of a coincidence that all these people are popping up in the same place.
Studio where reshoots and additional photography.
It's
I don't
odd.
know.
It's odd.
It's odd.
And
Very odd.
it's fishy.
It's fishy.
But speaking of that, though, we have got confirmation that Sony will have a 3-hour panel at, was it CinemaCon?
Yeah.
On August 23rd. What are they going to do for 3 hours? Yeah. They've got, well, I mean, obviously, we've just watched that travesty of a trailer for Cinderella. In my opinion.
We'll get onto it.
We'll get onto it later.
Yeah.
But that's Sony as well. Obviously, Sony's not just Spider-Man, Venom, and the Morbius thing. There's a lot more. Ghostbusters. There's a lot more that they're going to do. But, and I don't want to cruel speculation again. But it seems like a time to show it, though.
It would. Well, if you haven't done it by, I would. Hopefully, if we haven't got it by that date, that's very worrying for the release date of December 17th.
Yeah.
Which is a massive concern at the minute.
That
That would be, if you haven't done it yet, CinemaCon. Maybe tweet about a few days earlier that it's coming, or tease it, and then everyone will be watching. All eyes will be on that 3-hour panel.
Yeah.
It's a clever way to do it, because if they just put, I'm not saying all their films before shit, because they've still got Uncharted coming as well with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. If they build up the hype for Spider-Man for that August 23rd, put it right at the very end, and then everyone else has already watched your 2.5 hour other stuff, because you ain't gonna they're not going to say when it is. Do you know what I mean? And never say when it is going to be in a con. So who knows whether it's coming now? But if it does come then that's only just over 3 months away from release, which is very strange for any film now to do that. I mean, Shang-Chi, we're getting bloody TV spots left, right, and centre now. New posters, character posters, we're getting everything. I know it's only just over a month away, or just under a month away now. But before that, we had a couple of trailers, like up till 6 months before. So it's very strange. And this is Sony's, I did find out a bit more, it is categorically Sony's decision when the marketing, they're in charge of marketing distribution side of it. So it is very much their decision when it's released, which is clever, but also annoying.
Yeah. Maybe the market manager's just on holiday. Annual leave.
He's getting an email near the out of office emails coming back. Sorry, won't be back yet. But yeah, as well as that, though, we have just seen a load of promo images come out yesterday, I think it was, for t-shirts and other concept art and promo images. There was a lot of focus on Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. There was a lot of focus on the black suit, where it says, I think it's like written on like a school pad, magic plus webs, I think, or something. It's awesome or something like that, and it's him shooting out some magical type of webs. And there was, what was the other stuff? There was, stuff about Mysterio. People saying we believe Mysterio, that it is Peter Parker, and he's horrible, basically did kill Woodham, because the video in the Far From Home alludes to the fact that he shot everyone and killed everyone, didn't he? And then you've got other things where there was another t-shirt with Peter Parker on it saying Spider-Man Unmasked, and another t-shirt saying who is the Spider-Man, stuff like that. So it's, stuff is coming out, but that's nothing new. We know that. We know Doctor Strange is obviously in it and stuff, but it's strange to me that there's no stuff leaking with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Mans or Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Electro, and nothing like that. There's nothing like that at all.
Yeah.
It's very strange. However, there was some news today that apparently an insider had some news on costumes for the villains. So they confirmed that Electro's back, and I think Jamie Foxx even said previously that he's not going to be all blue and blue lightning and stuff, because that's not comic accurate. It doesn't really matter.
Do you remember the post he done that he deleted like instantly?
Yeah.
Free Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It lasted about 8 seconds.
Yeah.
What an idiot. Love
So
you,
he went
JB.
straight on the phone.
Jesus Christ.
But apparently he's going to be more green and yellow-ish, more like the comics, and yellow lightning and stuff, so very much more comic-based. Interesting one, though, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, apparently he's not going to have hardly any changes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because, you're nodding your head, because they said that the fans loved that look of Doc Ock. It worked really well. It didn't look like the Power Rangers Green Goblin from the first one. So apparently there's not much change in that. All that's going to be done with him is a few minor costume changes, probably a new trench coat, who knows, and some de-aging. That's about it. But the interesting one is Green Goblin, because Willem Dafoe hasn't been confirmed. Well, officially hasn't been confirmed. But, what did you think of that original costume?
It was very 2001.
Yeah, it was.
It was, but even then, that looked just so far away from what it should look like. It was awful. I thought.
Then again, I was very young at the time, obviously, but it wasn't an issue for me until in recent years.
No.
But I do know what you mean.
You can't take that one and put it in this now.
No, of course not.
You cannot do
not,
that.
yeah.
But they said the new look for him, which apparently Kevin Feige's had a massive hand in, is still an armoured look, but more greens and purples and like a utility belt for like
for the balls.
yeah, for the little pumpkin bombs or whatever. Yeah,
I like it. That's good.
It's a good way to update a look as opposed to stick with it. So apparently he's going to be more menacing goblin looking, not the motorcycle helmet look, basically.
Yeah.
So that's good, I suppose, but we're still not getting everything. Every week we talk about it and nothing's still here. August 23rd, what do you two think? Do you think that could be the time?
It could be a small teaser, or we could find out just something. But like you say, it could be the draw to CinemaCon. Get everyone watching it the whole 3 hours, and at the very end, they'll say something. It'll piss people off, but they'll reveal something. Yeah. But I don't think it'll be a trailer or not. It's an odd place to release it.
I mean, we've spoken about it off air, etc. a lot, but I am very, very concerned.
Yes,
but it's probably a good time to mention it now. So. The US box office, we've got some numbers from the Suicide Squad. Now, I know people are probably thinking, it's R-rated as well as HBO Max release. And someone else made a good point. It's very ambiguous. Is it a sequel? Is it not? So there was a lot of things that probably didn't help the box office numbers, but it did foul domestically. And I think it was 26.5 million it accumulated, which was, I think, about 5 million under what it was supposed to make. Yeah. And obviously these reports are usually quite bang on and they account for R-rated and stuff. So people can't say, it's R-rated. That was always accounted for. So it didn't do very well. And I just found out that they done, not only was it 180 million budget, they also spent 100 million on marketing. So they're not going to, today, globally, I think they're on 72 million.
Yeah.
So that's a loss.
They're going to struggle. Yeah,
that's a loss.
It's going to be more than that as well. They spent on the rest of it, like distribution, advertising stuff. It's normally about double the budget of the film.
Yeah.
So let's say 350, something like 360.
So bearing in mind, not just us, we all thought it was a great movie, but it's people near enough. Everyone thinks that.
Yeah.
So if a great movie is being released and people are not willing to go to cinemas, there's absolutely no way Sony are going to release Spider-Man No Way Home unless this Delta variant changes.
From a business point of view,
then just not
happening.
Well, to be fair, Venom's been pushed back in Australia and New Zealand or something, hasn't it, till October 14th, something like that. I think it's almost a month later. 3 weeks later.
And then them taking off September 24 on the American poster to this fall.
Yeah.
I did see today, which may be the lynch point. We mentioned James Bond. Craig mentioned James Bond last week. I did just see, I think it was, Simu Liu, the main character of Shang-Chi. He's basically confirmed it's 100% coming September 3rd. Mm-hmm. I think if that does very well, maybe that will help people because it's not R-rated, it's just a fun family Marvel film.
Yeah.
And if that does very well, then Spider-Man will do very well.
Well, Black Widow's done a hell of a lot more than Suicide Squad.
How?
And that released on Disney Plus as well. Strange. I mean, Suicide Squad's the better film. Obviously, everyone knows that. But I don't think you can blame it on the R rating.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
that's. I think another factor is as good as Margot Robbie is as Harley Quinn, Harley Quinn is not a big enough character to draw people in. It's not a draw. It's not a Batman. It's not a Spider-Man. It's not anything like that. So
I would have thought Cena might have got some fans in though.
True, but something's not worked there.
Exactly.
And you can't say Warner Brothers are usually quite bad at marketing, but 100 million on marketing, I suppose you can't give them any faults there. So something's not worked.
Do you know what we always get a bit confused about is we don't know how, HBO Max, because HBO Max is not like Disney Plus where you have to pay extra. It's just on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how does that really factor in? Because I know obviously certain people like us would prefer to see it in a cinema, but if you can't, when you wake up one day and you can't be asked to go on a Friday night or Saturday, and it's just there to watch at home and you haven't got to pay extra for it, you would probably just do that.
Yeah.
So we don't know how that really equates to it, because people can still sign up and get the 30 days for free. People can, have 30 days from last month, and they could have watched Mortal Kombat, Godzilla vs. Kong, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and this all in one sitting, plus whatever else is on there. So I don't know how that really translates. Doesn't really make sense. But who knows? It's quite sad that it's done that.
It is sad. I mean, I don't think that will affect. I think James Gunn will move forward with DC as they've already said.
Yeah.
But that is quite sad because it deserves a lot. That movie, it is. I watched it again yesterday. I just think it's fantastic. So it is a shame, but I guess I do feel like the Delta variant is worse than ever at the minute.
Yeah.
So I think that is a massive factor.
I think we mentioned it last week that Disney have now told you got to put your mask back on when you go into.
So obviously the concern is growing, especially in America, because it is skyrocketing at the minute. Yeah. So it's not a good time.
How much do you think the original Suicide Squad has affected this? I think it's quite a lot.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The fact that, I mean, you've got the fan. Not only have you got the fans for the release, the haircut, you've got all that, and then you've got the fact that you've brought characters back like Jai Courtney, Joel Kinnaman, Harley Quinn. You've brought Viola Davies. You've brought all them back as their characters from the first one, but you've not really confirmed. Is it a sequel? Is it not? They have no recollection of anything before. If it is a sequel, people are probably a little bit confused by it. People like us who just don't care. James Gunn, DC movie, fun characters, let's have it. But I think
but then again, you got to remember, forget the crazy fan base of both Marvel, Star Wars, DC, whatever. The main box office numbers doesn't come from them fans.
No, it doesn't. No.
So that it's a good amount, but it's a small amount.
Yeah,
no one's that. There's not that percentage for general cinema goers is huge compared to the actual nerds who love it, including people like us. And we will go see anything. I mean, Marvel could put out a shit on a screen for 2 hours. I'll probably go see what it's about.
As long as it comes with a Marvel running
exactly,
logo.
Yes, I'll see what it's about. But so I genuinely don't think that the failure to that is anything to do with DC or the original one, really, because the main viewing audience are just not going to see it.
Yeah.
Which is strange. Because fans have seen it. Every fan, we're fans, we've seen it. Sean saw it because of Cena. Billy Lee's seen it.
Yeah.
So they've all seen it because they like DC. But the main audiences are not going.
This is the point. That small you just mentioned are the ones going to see it.
Yeah.
But if you're not that bothered, but you like James Gunn, well, that looks fun, but you're worried about COVID, you wouldn't go.
Yeah,
you'd pirate it, or if you're in America, you'd watch it on HBO Max. So I just think it's worrying, but if I was a head of a company at the minute and I had $1 billion movie, I'd be very reluctant to release that in cinemas right now. Would you?
Yeah, I think it's only cinema fans that are going to the cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
The way the world's changing now with streaming services, and people don't really like cinema anyway because kids and rustling food. Like, I won't go. I'll just watch it on here. So they're not going. Then you got COVID into the mix. Worried about sitting in the screen with loads of people. They're not going. So it's just people like us that are going, and we're propping up the numbers. It's just not enough.
It's not enough.
I genuinely think, so I was reading about this the other day, I genuinely think they have really screwed themselves with HBO Max. Because, one, don't have it on there. At the very first beginning, don't have it on there like day and day release. That's same like doing in June. That's coming out the same day, same cinema theatres. And but they're not charging extra for the new things. Disney, I mean, we're all pissed off about Disney, the way they do it. £20 for Black Widow Jungle Cruise, which we did, which we have paid for. You have anyway. But
yes, I'm the sucker. Brad's the sucker, by the way. He pointed at me.
But Disney, they've made money off it. They've made money doing that because that is the choice. Whether you go to cinema, like Con said, you don't like the rustling, the kids, people talking, people on their phones and stuff.
I like kids.
Oh dear, that. And then you just go, do you know what? I can't be asked to move on a Sunday. I'm not going to cinema. People will annoy me. I'll pay £20 and watch it. Right? So people are doing that, and they're paying £20 out of just what's it called? Just out of convenience, really. Yeah. But HBO Max, they're not gaining anything off it. Yes, they may get a new subscriber,
for a month,
but they're not charging for the brand new films that come out. The Godzilla vs Kong, Mortal Kombat, this now. It's got to be hurting. I mean, Scarlett Johansson's done a whole PR stunt. Well, that's what Disney said anyway. But a whole PR campaign and lawsuit against it because it made $40 million just on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So HBO have missed out. I'm not saying it would have made $40 million on that, but they've missed out certainly some money on it.
Yeah.
It's very easy to make another email address. Another sign up.
Another sign up.
Yeah. Use Nan's address if you need to. Just get it out again.
Yeah, you still don't know. I mean, that was massive when they decided to do that, Warner Brothers. No one still really knows the main idea, other than just was it to boost HBO Max to try and catch up with Netflix and Disney Plus. No one really knows, and I agree with you, Craig. There, it's got to be hurting them, and I bet they cannot wait because they've already announced that from 2022 it's stopped and it's all theatrical. So I bet they're just counting down the days that they can do that. But maybe we'll see June not released on HBO. I mean, maybe they'll make a decision later on in the year if it sorts itself out, which it's not looking like it does. Maybe they'll make a decision to do that because the director's already not happy about it going on HBO Max. But
and the thing is, if this Delta variant thing goes on or some other variant, whatever happens,
Loki.
If they start releasing it worldwide, where places like us and Europe and most other places are doing well with the vaccine and cases are down and stuff, then we're going to be paying for it at the box office and stuff. But they're still going to be releasing it. If they can't put it in theaters, people ain't going. They're still releasing it to the whole of America. The whole domestic box office will crash, and they'll just watch it all on HBO Max because they've got it for free. So it's strange. Strange. It's a stranger, but Warner Brothers, we all know they don't know what the fuck they're doing anyway.
Agreed. Great chat. Yeah. Before we crack on any more news, let's transport ourselves. We've spoke about COVID, the Delta variant. Let's transport ourselves into the future to 2022, just for a second.
It's your kids, Marty.
Well played. Was that planned when this was?
That wasn't.
Okay, fair enough.
On the spot.
That's quick. So we're transporting ourselves into 2022, and not until it's written down do you realise how good it is for geeks like us. And if you're listening, I hope you're one of us as well. Don't be cool. But anyway, from 2022, this is what we have on the cards, and I'm going to be asking Connor and Craig what their top anticipated geeky thing is, and these are the list. So it's The Batman, obviously Matt Reeves. You've got Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse. You've got the Flash movie, Aquaman 2, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Adam, Peacemaker on HBO Max series, Black Panther 2, Amazon's Lord of the Rings high budget in history TV series, Kenobi, Andor, and Mandalorian Season 3. You've got Moon Knight on Disney+. You've got Stranger Things 4, which feels like it's been forever. And then you've even got Batgirl on HBO Max with J.K. Simmons returning as Jim Gordon. That's a lot of shit there.
And we've got Miss Marvel pushed back as well.
Yeah, and now we've got
I'm not saying that.
yeah, and Miss Marvel back. So I'm going to start with Craig. Give me your... That sounded a bit... Give me your top anticipated out of that list.
The number one thing. Well, it has to be Doctor Strange for me.
I guess that.
I don't think there has to be any talking about it. But I will say what my next anticipated thing is.
Yeah, nice.
Well, can I say the next two?
Go on.
Because Doctor Strange, we've talked that to death. We know what's happening there. We love it. It's happening. It's good. The Batman, obviously, I think it's all one of us. Every one of us is good. But other than that, I mean, I'm looking forward to 4, but no, it's Kenobi. I think that
I forgot about that with you. Yeah,
that series, because I'll tell you exactly why. Obviously, Ewan McGregor's back. Everyone loves that. Hayden Christensen's back. Vader's going to be in it. And also, it's just for Star Wars nerds. This time period that it's set in is not explored anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you don't actually know what happened.
So you're going in blind.
Yeah, and there's been comics and there's been books and stuff that are not officially canon anymore, but it's a very interesting time where the Empire's rising up. Obviously Kenobi's trying to look after young Luke on Tatooine. Vader's hunting down any last Jedi that's hanging about. He's got the Inquisitors, which are rumored to appear as well. Darth Maul's still knocking about. It's a very interesting time period.
Oh, he sold that to me.
It's a very
cool Lucasfilm, mate.
No, but it is and it isn't explored that much. We've got stuff in between the Clone Wars. We've got Mandalorian that's after Return of the Jedi and before the new stuff. This is a brand new little area to go into where all the main players are kicking about.
Yeah.
Including Maul.
Yeah.
And the last time we saw Maul was in Solo, with that last little bit at the end. Do you remember when he's talking to Daenerys? And he looked good there, bit beefier, still got his double lightsaber. And that's the last we saw of him. So we know he's knocking about. And then the Rebel series that you've seen as well, where Obi-Wan does actually eventually kill him. That's after this. So it's just, there's lots, Vader, the Emperor, the Empire, Kenobi, Darth Maul, everyone's about.
Massive semi-crow.
Everyone's about. But no, that is my top 3. It has to be.
I think that's fair enough.
I've got to follow that now.
Unfortunately.
You've got to explain it.
That sounded rehearsed.
Yeah, I know.
So good luck, Connor.
Well, he's put his note down. I'm going off the beaten track. My most anticipated for next year is Stranger Things 4. I adore that series.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And obviously, if you allude to it, it's confirmed release next year, which is a shame. I was hoping for it to be this year. Halloween maybe would have been nice. But I absolutely love that series. And it will be worth the wait, I think. And I cannot wait for that.
Fair enough. So is that your 100% top one most anticipated?
Yeah, I think so.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it is.
Fair enough. Quick second.
Batman.
Fair enough. I'm going
Did I not manage to get Kenobi in the top 3 there for you?
No, okay. Well, I mean, it's close now.
Yeah, don't move there. I would probably. I'm going to do the same as Craig. the Batman is my number one, so I'm not going to. That's obvious. I would probably then say it's between the Flash and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, only because they're both the same thing. They're both going to. Well, No Way Home is doing it first for Marvel, but they're both part of the structure to open up the multiverse, etc., and bring all these things in. If the Flash does Flashpoint right, then it could be incredible. So that's the only reason for that, and we'll see. And plus, obviously, Ben Affleck back as Batman, Michael Keaton as Michael Keaton's Batman. It's weirdly good. So yeah, that's my top two. So 2022, stay with us if you're listening to us for weeks, and stay with us because my God, it's coming up.
Massive,
yeah.
And it could be even more. See how this year goes.
It could be, yeah. We could have Spider-Man in January or something. So we don't know.
Also, if you are American, go back and listen to, because Suicide Squad's new for you guys.
Yeah.
So we've had it out for a week now, our episode. So go back and listen to episode, I think it's 47 or our last one. Go back and listen to it, and we'll take a deep dive with us.
Yeah, it's a fantastic breakdown, to be fair.
Cool. So I'm going to switch it back over to Craig.
Okay, so better talk about it. It's coming out this week.
No Way Home.
It seems like it every time. So What If, the Marvel What If series, we spoke about it quite a bit so far.
Nearly
Both
there.
we're all looking forward to it, aren't we?
Yeah, out today.
It will be out today, yes. We're speaking in the future,
nice.
yeah.
Got well confused.
Actually threw me. I looked at the date and went, no, it's not.
Turn the page where it says Kenobi notes.
So What If is out today. So if you listen to this, you've obviously seen the first episode. We spoke about it last week. It's this one's all about Captain Carter and Steve Rogers as the Hydra Stomper. It's got his name. There's some new posters out for it. However, there's been a little bit of backlash.
Oh.
So there was the series that was on ABC that was Agent Carter. So it was set after Steve Rogers goes in ice, and it was Haley Atwell back. You had a guy playing Jarvis, and who appears in Endgame, who's driving the butler of Tony Stark's dad. Howard Stark, couldn't think of his name. But so that series is actually quite well liked. I actually only saw the first series. There's two series, and it got binned. But the series is actually quite liked, and it's got quite a bit of a following because people really do like Haley Atwell as Agent Carter.
Wonder why.
Oh, yeah. No wonder Cap went back. But so every time a new Disney Plus series comes out, there's a series on Disney Plus called Legends, which recaps basically the characters. It's only like 6-7 minutes. They've done it for everyone so far. Wonder Vision, they did Falcon and Winter Soldier, Black Widow, and now What If's coming up, and they've done a Peggy Carter one, just so it's a refresher before the series.
Yeah,
even though the series really has nothing to do with what she did before, but that people are annoyed because this recap contains nothing of Agent Carter, and she had 2 full series of like tracking down the super soldier serum, fighting Nazis in honor of Captain America, and like being all upset and stuff, and Jarvis and stuff like that. So it has a lot of foundations for the MCU, but they've said now, because there was a big row between Marvel Television and Marvel Studios, that none of that stuff counts, so it's not included in anything.
Just make it up as they go along, don't they?
A little bit. But people,
and that's why they're angry.
Because that Legends episode come out, it's like 7 minutes, or not even that long with her.
Yeah.
And it's just a refresher of who the character is before you see her in that first episode. And it has nothing of 2 whole series of a show that she was in.
But why would it?
Because it's a recap of the character. She had 2 whole series as that character, and it only recaps the small amount.
Sorry, the Legends.
Yes,
sorry, I was thinking, but
not What If. No.
Sorry, right.
So the Legends,
I'm with you.
The Legend
that
episode,
is naughty.
It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird.
I forgot. I was not on their side until I just got it. What you was saying. Yeah, if you're bringing up a Legends behind the scenes about the character and stuff, and there's a whole 2 seasons of a Marvel show, regardless of whether you call it canon. That's naughty.
Yeah.
So it must have nothing
Sorry
in
to
it.
point at Craig, but that's naughty.
I didn't do it. But yeah, so it is a little bit naughty, but they released a clip as well, first little clip from it, where it was Captain Carter with Bucky and that in the trenches, and then Steve Rogers comes in the big high storm, but I think it looked great. I think it looks very fun.
Not going to lie, that didn't sell me.
No?
I know it's Captain Carter. I know it's that. But that, I don't know. What did you think?
I'm not stoked for this episode.
If that's going to be the tone, looking forward to seeing Bucky. Bucky looks great.
Yeah.
But if that's the tone of that episode, I can imagine I'm going to finish the episode going, okay, right, I'll wait for next week.
Yeah.
Well, we already know, as we mentioned last week, apparently each one gets
Maybe
better.
that's in my mind.
Possibly. That could be, but I get what you mean, but I actually meant it looks great. Like, it looks
No, we've all
great.
said this is very
that
unique.
clip looked good.
I like this sound. Animation is unique.
It's sort of like a mix between old school and computerized.
Yeah.
I know it is all computerized, but it looks good. But yeah, there's a lot of comments saying, why does Captain Carter and Bucky sound like that? Even though it's the actual actors.
That's awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
But someone brought up a good point. I didn't wade in on this argument. I just watched.
And
Watch
like Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, well, yes, very much so.
Very good. He's choosing coffee, by the way. Brad's bought coffee and a sausage dog.
Did you hear the flask shut? Because it's very loud. It makes the little... Anyway, I needed it.
But yeah, people commented and said, like, they don't sound very good. And then people went back and went, that is actually Hayley Atwell and Sebastian Stan who's voicing them. Obviously not Chris Evans for Steve Rogers, but I don't think he speaks in that bit anyway. But then someone made out a really good point, and he said, some actors are good actors, but it takes a lot. It's very hard to be a voice actor.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Which it is, which is true. So that's why, because Captain Carter in that, Hayley Atwell sounds a bit forced in that clip that was out anyway. So that may be why. But
that was my point on Dave Bautista. Because not everyone could be a... He's not the most greatest actor. He's good, but he's not fantastic. So to transfer them skills to voice acting, that's probably why you haven't got the job.
Well, we'll see. I might be completely wrong and someone's going to shut me up, but we'll see about Dave Bautista. Surely he's the voice of the animated Army of the Dead's prequel series that's centered around his character.
Yeah, he
we shall surely he's if he's not, then okay. But we'll see if he can. But Craig's right. It's very hard to be charismatic in just reading.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how they do. But I know what people meant by that. It did seem a false British accent.
Yeah, which is weird.
Which
is very English.
So, yeah.
But just to finish off What If, there was a funny little thing that came out that apparently a Luke Skywalker cameo was pitched for What If.
No way.
But was unfortunately turned down by Marvel Studios. And it was a writer, AC Bradley. They kept reminding me that Luke Skywalker is not an Avenger, which is fair enough. I mean, at this point, we said it last week after Loki and whatever's coming up now. Anything can happen. I'm not saying do that. Don't cross them lines. But it's quite funny that it was pitched.
That is just.
And the writer had to be reminded, no, we're not doing that.
I did see. I don't know if it was on the back of that. I think you probably saw it as well. But I did see that Kevin Feige had one rule about this whole What If to the writers, and that was you cannot introduce anyone new.
Yes.
So it's literally purely what you've seen, make me stories about those. So it obviously just goes to show how much is coming up with Marvel, because there's obviously rumours of there's like 9 unannounced just Disney Plus projects and stuff. So there's a lot coming up with Marvel. So he's like, look, leave that to me, the big boy.
Yeah.
You've got enough to work with. So yes, it's going to be a very relentless show in terms of what they can do. So I'm excited. Yeah.
In the you mentioned The Watcher or Jeffrey Wright, which you're very looking forward to, aren't you? Looking forward to him. And
it's outstanding. The voice promo you sent in the chat the other week, just him talking,
very good.
Send me to sleep, Jeff, in a good way.
It's like him and like a Morgan Freeman. They have just fantastic voices.
Absolutely spot on.
But there was an interesting bit in that. So obviously he says about we're exploring the multiverse, and it actually starts with all the lines going off. So it looks very directly from the Loki finale, and says they're going to explore the multiverse and what did he say? It was like in its totality. I think the actual word was. But the interesting thing from that, which hasn't been seen in other trailers, is there's one little scene where all the Avengers are together, but it's Black Widow has a blonde hair. You have Black Panther, Captain America, Iron Man, and Hawkeye. So it looks to be a episode as if Civil War didn't happen, which is I'm intrigued in that. Or
it's interesting.
Or it could be that the teams were different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On different sides. Maybe Cap went against Bucky in this one. I'm really looking forward to that because they're in the Civil War costumes and that just before Infinity War, so it looks good.
I'd like to see an episode where Hulk and Thor were in Civil War, and then all the others have just to run and cover because they'd be useless. Off, Just be them two fighting in that German airport, and all the rest just go and run.
To be fair, Marvel Studios are very clever in sending them two away for that for that film.
Even what's his name? General Ross even makes a comment like, if I'm misplaced a couple of two-ton nukes, I'd be in trouble. So they're very, very clever.
That would be a fantastic. Maybe it's all of them against Thor and Hulk.
Pointless. Pointless. Don't even use your hammer.
But it sounds. I like the idea of that. One around an alternative Civil War I'd like that quite a lot. That's it for What If. Oh, Eternals. Sorry, there's a new story.
I don't know about this. So
I'm trying to find. There we go.
Good news.
Stalling.
As part of, so there's been some 5 new key facts that are coming out that seem to be confirmed as happening in Eternals, which we have mentioned one of before. But firstly, it's it shows the birth of the universe. Fair enough.
Nice.
The creation of Earth. Fair enough. This one's interesting, which we did mention as a rumor before, the sinking of Atlantis, which brings into Namor and Black Panther and that.
Yeah.
Then the construction of the Tower of Babylon. Fair enough. But then this one, the lineage of Thanos.
Ooh, I'd be interested to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's I mean, there was rumored a new trailer today. Obviously that hasn't happened. May still be happening, who knows? I doubt it. But there should be a new trailer coming soon. There's got to be a second one coming out soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
But Spider-Man first, for Christ's sake.
There was a joke going around. Did you see it with the Kevin Feige quote and tweet and said that we've decided not to release the trailer for this. We actually just want to see the cinema goers turn up surprised.
Oh God!
But it turns out that was fake. That wasn't. Yeah. But it was a proper little quote by a news story, and it was like, no, he did not say this. It's not happening. You don't do that because, like I said, the nerds make up a small amount of the box office. You can't just expect the random moviegoers to go. But anyway, enough of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
Hit it up, Con.
Are you ready to speak about one of the biggest talent contracts in history?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, the creators of South Park, obviously Trey Parker and Matt Stone, have inked a deal with Viacom CBS for a $900 million deal. Massive, massive money. Deal includes 6 more seasons. That's on season
25 or something, I think.
So that's probably one of the longest running.
Bearing in mind things like Simpsons is cancelling and stuff, I think, isn't it?
But that's on like 30 something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just,
35 or
yeah,
something.
no, true, yeah, that's quite a lot more actually at that stage. But
But on top of the seasons, 14 South Park movies for Paramount Plus.
Can I just jump in? There's actually a slight difference to that.
Right.
It's 14 movies by them. So it could be a Book of Mormon type film.
Right,
It could be
okay.
something else, but they're contracted for 14 films. And not necessarily, the 6 seasons is South Park.
Yeah.
But the other films are not necessarily South Park.
Most of them have got to be. I've only got
I was
that.
about to say,
No, I would imagine so, yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently it's not just South Park movies.
and they've got a game in the works. Literally right now,
Have they?
they're doing a game.
I think they tried the game before. And it,
What, a South Park game?
South Park game, yeah. they
Yeah, I
weren't
remember
great.
that.
Yeah, I know.
But what? I don't know what to say on that. To be honest, that's massive.
Massive, massive. I can't think of a bigger deal for 2 people than that. 900. That's almost $1 billion.
Absolutely nailed it. Those
Yeah.
two.
I knew South Park was popular, but that is just insane. Near on $1 billion.
When was the last time you watched South Park?
Well, I've watched it this year, to be fair.
I didn't watch
I
the
have.
pandemic.
I
thing.
watched.
Oh, you
That's the
watched
last
it?
one I watched.
I
It
watched that.
is funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
Very racist, but it is funny.
That's the thing. I'm surprised they're still going, but you know what South Park is,
Yeah.
and it's got hardcore fans.
It is still funny. I watched. They put on Netflix not so long ago. The best. It's like a series of the best of.
Yeah.
So from the last 5 series, they put. I think it's 20 episodes, like the best ones, the fan favorite ones. And I watched them not so long ago, probably a couple months ago, and they are funny.
Yeah.
Especially the one. What is it? World of Warcraft one.
Oh, that's
Do you
one of the
remember
best
that?
ones.
That's iconic.
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's so funny. But anyway, yeah, that is insane. I didn't think people still watched it. Really.
I'll be very excited for a Book of Mormon film. If I do that, that will be
I was
hilarious.
just guessing. I haven't read that.
If that happened, that would be
Confirmed. It's happening.
Quote Craig.
It's happening.
No, that is. I don't really know what to say. I was very, very stunned when that got put into our chat. Very, very stunned. We all love South Park. Everyone of our generation, our era, loves South Park.
Yeah.
But I don't know where 900 million's worth of investment. That's just for them too, let alone budgets and stuff for these movies.
Yeah.
Can't imagine it will cost a lot. But anyway, that's insane.
But they do the voices.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
they do the voice.
Yeah.
Most of the voices they do.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. There's
So,
only a couple that
I
don't.
suppose you're not getting any more money used to. Get in front of that microphone for 900 million and do what I say.
Yeah.
It'll do. It'll do. That's incredible news.
Speaking of crazy money, Disney have released the.
There you go, yeah.
So they've released they're building. They've got Star Wars Galaxy Z in Hollywood Studios in Florida, and they're releasing the hotel, so the Star Wars Galactic Cruiser Hotel in Disney World. It looks insane. It's fully immersive. So you go in and I think you can choose which side you want to be, and you play the character and you play the part. But a lot of people would have been priced out. A lot of people. So I'll give you the prices.
I think 99% of people would want to go to it.
So here are the prices for a 2-day immersive vacation experience. For 2 adults, $4,800.
God.
For 2 adults and 1 child, $5,300. And for 3 adults and 1 child, $6,000. Bear in mind, families make up sort of 2 adults and sort of 3 kids maybe. When you go to Disney World, big groups go. So you can have like 6, 7 adults and about 15 kids. That's insane.
And then that's what about travel and then
And
food
it doesn't
and-
include your Disney
No.
tickets either.
Yeah.
It continues. It includes 1 day into Hollywood Studios
Yeah.
because do you actually know what the idea of this thing is?
What is it?
So when you arrive at like a spaceport, right? So it is fully immersive,
Yeah.
right? So you get on this ship that it looks. I don't know what it looks like, but out from the outside, I guess it must look pretty good to get on, as if you're flying away on it or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're in this ship, which is being classed as like a mini cruise ship, like a real cruise ship, for Star Wars fans. And you're in it for 2 nights, and there's no windows. Every window is like a screen.
space.
So it looks like you're actually in space and you're traveling. It's very clever, right? And then you have Jedi training, or you have whatever sort of training on there for kids and adults. I would do it if I had the money. And there's, you eat Star Wars food, you drink Star Wars things. There's characters in the best prosthetic makeup you can get. You've got Rey on board with that retractable lightsaber. It looks fucking incredible, and I want one, but you can't buy it. It's annoying. But it does look incredible. So it's all this, and there's so much more to it. And then what happens is it lands on your 3rd day. So you have your 2 nights, and the 3rd day it lands. And then it opens up as if you travelled into Batuu, which is Galaxy's Edge. Very clever idea.
Yeah.
But that is ridiculous.
It's too much. They'll have to step down. Thing is, with Disney, they're in a bit of hot water in a minute because Disneyland Paris, the fast passes, you have to pay for them now.
Yeah.
So, like, if you want a fast pass for Peter Pan's flight, it's €15
Jesus.
per person, not per family, per person to jump the queue. They can do it for every single one. They've changed the annual passes in Disney World. I think they've just brought them back in Disneyland, but they've changed how they work as well. There's talks about getting rid of the Magical Express, which takes you from the airport to the parks, which was free. I think the transport will charge.
I saw that. They mentioned that in Florida, all them Disney bus you can get on for free and go to different hotels and everything. They was thinking about making that a charge.
But this is Bob Chapek. This is Bob Chapek.
Yeah,
Disney.
100%. Yeah, you're right.
That's all he cares about. So that's no family will be able to do that.
No, that's insane.
I'm not usually one to like say, like for the people and stuff like that. I think it's just unfortunate if things are expensive. You live within your means, etc.
Yeah.
That's usually my outlook on it. But for someone like Disney, I don't know what's Disney's slogan. Something about families, I assume. I don't know. Do you know what I
Where
mean?
dreams come true.
That's it. Yeah. So no one can afford that dream. No one can have their dream. Like I know. We take the piss out of Craig, but Craig is a massive Star Wars fan.
No chance of paying.
Yeah. But who could afford? I mean, obviously we're in the UK, so you lump on thousands for tickets for train and for plane. Sorry, so you're looking at near on 10 grand for a 2-night stay.
It's mad. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
You still got if you go there for 2 weeks, you still got to do 12 nights somewhere else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then you got the 2 nights there.
Oh, sorry, yeah, over 10 grand. I've just come in short.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
So I just think for someone like, I know we've spoke about the difference between Bob Chapek and Bob Iger, and I know Disney's an organisation that's making money, in the business of making money, but when you are an organisation that's about families and as you just said, making dreams come true, that is disgusting.
Just imagine like the little kids. I mean, I would whine to my dad if I was like 10 and I saw this, and all these kids going, "Oh my god, I can go build my lightsaber. I can stay on a spaceship." Because to some kids, they think it's real. They think it's happening. That's the idea of it. That's the whole idea of this immersive experience. And then your parents have to go, "Sorry, you can't spend $5,000 on this. Plus the rest of us to go there. Plus, if you're American, obviously it's going to cost that and whatever." And you get 1 day's pass to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that's a disgrace.
It is an absolute disgrace.
That's horrible. That's horrible. But it's just that's disgusting. Because I would love to stay like from the UK, obviously. But I would love to stay in the Animal Kingdom Lodge, which looks like lovely, and you can have breakfast. All the animals, giraffes, put their heads in and stuff.
Get off my food.
Oh yeah, pretty much. But it looks lovely. Everything looks great, and including that, you get the meals and stuff like that as well. And it's with flights for us about £4,000. It's quite expensive, and then you have got Grand Floridian and that, which is expensive as well.
Yeah,
and all of them, which are their best and biggest hotels they do, are cheaper for 2 weeks and flights for us than 2 nights in that.
yeah.
When you say it like that,
It's
that
insane.
Is disgusting.
They're 5-star ones. So you got Yacht Club, Grand Floridian, I think Animal Kingdom Lodge are around about £4,000 with our flights to go there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Contemporary. And
Yeah.
Aulani in Hawaii, that's cheaper.
It's
mad.
I hate to say it, that's robbing bastards.
Yeah, it is.
It's robbing bastards.
It is horrible. It is horrible. Oh, I don't know. What to say.
I would still think it was a bit insane if it was $2,000
for 2 days. I agree with you. It's
yeah.
2 days.
That's
at the
still
end of the day.
insane. Yeah.
Surely they'd make more money with, I don't know, I'm not
Churn them out,
Yeah,
churn
churning them
people
out
out.
rather than waiting for that people to save up or waiting for those people to put it on credit cards and they'll worry about that later because they'll make a lot of money off it.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get people that will put credit cards on.
I know the only people who's going to do that is either one, the rich. I don't mean
Vacation
super
club
rich, but the rich. Huh?
Yeah, the vacation club.
Yeah,
people.
basically. And also people who I've watched video vlogs of and that, who live around the area or not too far from it, who've been to Disney like hundreds of times or whatever, and they've had their 2 weeks there or the week there or whatever, and they want to do something new. Maybe they will just save up for this little, I mean, let's just call it a long weekend.
Yeah.
They may just save up for that. But people international, which is where Disney makes a lot of its money from, European people, you won't do it.
Yeah.
You won't do it.
100% not.
Plus, when you get there, they expect you to spend $200 on a lightsaber, which I would do, but not the rest of it.
And can you imagine how much it is to eat there? Like, I assume it's not all inclusive.
No, it is all inclusive.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
On the cruiser thing, not when you go out.
Oh, and it's worth it.
Yeah, that's fine. You get a drink with it.
You get all weird drinks and food as well. It's not even like
God.
normal stuff, but insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Fair enough.
Final bit from me, Rulesaw Chronicle.
Yep.
Thoughts on Chronicle?
At the time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's all right.
Hold up. Don't hold up.
That was like
much
Michael
more.
B. Jordan's first, I can
Yeah.
imagine. film.
Yeah, I think it was.
Dandy Han was there.
And everyone forgets the third one.
Yeah.
Don't know who it is.
No idea.
No,
He was the hero.
actually don't know who it is.
Well, Chronicle 2 is in development at 20th Century. It's going to be set 10 years after the first film and will have a female lead.
That
Okay.
It's one of the. I mean, we spoke about. I quite like the. I know you two like it because you two both big fans of Cloverfield, didn't you?
Yeah.
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 So obviously, and I really liked. What's it called? Cloverfield. Is that the one with the camera with the geezer from Deadpool in it? With. So yeah. So I quite like. I love that sort of camera stuff. So I did really enjoy this, and it was good for us because that's what I would do if I had those powers,
Oh, yeah.
telekinesis
Yeah.
and flying, and indestructible. I would be doing shit. And I love the story of how one of them, like Dandy Han, goes fucking nutty.
Yeah.
And yeah, and obviously he kills Michael B. Jordan. But this, if they was to do another one where like, oh, a female lead, did you say?
Yeah.
If they was to go like, oh, female lead now has discovered this weird alien rock meteor and they get the powers, that's pathetic. And no one
Same.
needs to see that.
Yeah.
But if it's about a world maybe that people have these powers now because this meteor has been around for 10 years and it's spread or something, I don't know if that's something I'd be interested in. I don't think there's any variant of this that I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I don't think.
I just don't think you do it.
No.
It's just
Can't bring
silly.
Michael B. Jordan back. That's star power. He's not there.
Yeah.
But we died anyway. But
That's what I mean. So he's
oh,
not
I
there
see,
to bring back. Yeah.
And Dan DeHaan, I mean, what's he doing now?
No, thank you.
Probably pop him in. Did he? He died.
Not,
at the end, didn't he?
not No Way Home anyway.
Yeah, well, he definitely ain't doing it. Well, is he? Who knows? But there was that weird time, and you just said it, but there was a very, very weird time in cinemas and that where that shaky handheld camera was just in everything for some reason. And it worked well for certain things. It didn't work well for others that it tried to do. But that was a weird period of time where everything was in that sort of
Is it
style.
because technology was moving and maybe they were like,
I think it's
let's
because
do that?
Cloverfield was such a surprise hit.
Possibly, yeah.
Because no one had done. Well, I know Blair Witch Project and stuff like that, but it's not. That's not on the scale of this. This was like
budget,
huge
yeah.
CGI monsters, a war going on with the army. And I think it was because of that. And it just spawned a load of handheld camera footage. But don't do this. There's just no need. Who's doing this? Who is the production company
Oh,
behind
it's
it?
just 20th
20th
Century
Century.
Fox.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were still going.
I
Disney
thought
bought
that.
them.
I thought that as well, but apparently the studio is still live. What?
Oh, Disney bought everything.
What?
So they just leave. I reckon they probably just went, you can keep Chronicle.
Yeah.
We'll take the rest.
Do you want Chronicle with it? No, thank you.
We'll just take Simpsons, Alien, and the X-Men and that, please. Thank you.
Brilliant. Anything
me.
else?
No, that's me done.
Yeah, so we mentioned, I'll just recap it. For anyone that's disappointed, like we all are, Stranger Things Season 4, unfortunately, is not going to be here till next year, 2022. We did get some little images. I think it was like 4 snapshot images showing Hopper and 11 and stuff like that. Can't really talk about it because it didn't show much, but we're so excited.
Yeah.
So if that's like October, what time does it usually come out, you said?
Well, it doesn't usually come out any time. It come out Halloween twice, 2 seasons, and then the other season it come out July 4th weekend for Independence Day.
So at the bare minimum, we've got another year.
Yeah.
If it comes out in July. That's if.
It could be a New Year's thing.
That's what I mean.
don't know.
So let's say it is October this time, Halloween. We've got to wait.
It doesn't. I know we didn't see much, but it didn't seem very Halloween-y.
No, it didn't. No. Well, they've set up. I feel like the Stranger Things before was family scary, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. As you said, it is flawless, and it's the reason it's one of the biggest shows out there. But they've all the cast have said, and the writers and that this is 100% by far the most scariest season. So I do think maybe rightly so, they've gone up with the age of the kids into more scare. You can do it now. So I don't think it's going to be that Halloween scare thing. I think it is going to be quite jumpy and out there. So we'll see.
I think they could just release this anytime. It does
100%.
not matter when it's released. People are going to watch it either way.
I suppose they've got to battle with a lot of other things, though, haven't they? They've got to
2022 is absolutely stacked. Not just the films that's just the geeky stuff, let alone all the stuff that's coming out in 2022. So good struggle in that. But can't wait for it. And my last news before we talk about Cinderella. Yep, that's right. Just a quick one. It's been reported by the Direct that the primary villain in The Flash will be a darker version of Barry Allen. Now, if anyone knows The Flashpoint, that's not really a shock, but again, it's just more fruit and fuel to the fire as to why this could be a very good film, because it looks like it's following heavily from Flashpoint. So, first of all, what do you think about that?
Well, I know I put Stranger Things in the Batman as one of my anticipated, but this is very much up there. I'm really intrigued. Ever since Snyder Cut, I saw The Flash, and that scene, I thought, I want to see more of this. So I'm
Without
really
a doubt, that scene for me, it's not the best, but that is up. That's probably my top 3 comic book moments. I think it's that good in terms of that Flash bit. But so I understand. My second question is to use. Obviously, we are going to get this. You have to in this because, like I said, Flash. The whole reason he goes back in time is because a reverse Flash in Flashpoint, etc., kills his mum. So. And it's going to be a Flash on Flash sort of thing. So I don't think it's going to be like an alternate version of Barry Allen. I hope we won't go into it. I hope it's a guy called Eobard Thawne who's actually Reverse Flash. I hope it's like that. But anyway, what's your favourite? I'm going to ask for your best and worst. What's your worst, first of all, fight scenes between a hero and villain that have the exact same sort of powers? I'll throw one straight out there, which... It was such a letdown because I actually do, despite what people think, like the film. But Iron Man 2 with Whiplash, they fight for about 11 seconds. They tease the big suit that Mickey Rourke's character is playing, my bird, and he flies in. They go, I think it's Scarlett Johansson. Black Widow goes, this one's got a different signature, careful sort of thing. He comes in, lands, gets his Whiplash out, and they fight for 10 seconds. And that was a catastrophic failure in terms of a big villain.
He's a much better character earlier on in the film.
Oh, but when he at the Monaco Grand Prix, it's so good. But they really dropped the ball there, and that was a failure. So I don't know if you've got any ones like that can top that at all.
Venom's got to be up there, isn't it?
Cool. Yeah,
great shout.
Yeah,
that is
great
poor.
shout.
Conversation over. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, Riot and Venom in Venom 1, obviously, that was poor.
Yeah. Shambles.
On that same track, do Spider-Man and Venom from Spider-Man 3. That was fucking awful and all.
Yeah.
Again, spot on. Yeah. So
just Venom, basically.
Then I've gone for the best. I've got an honourable mention. It's not my best, but an honourable mention. Yellow Jacket versus Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic, that scene.
The Thomas the Tank. That's brilliant. That's really good.
Even when it zoomed, because it kept zooming out and there was no noise and it kept zooming in and it was chaos.
Little train just tumbles.
Yeah. It's just, because that off the track. Yeah. But the best is, for me, Black Panther, Golden Jaguar. I thought the fight, I know when they go down below into the cave, it's very dark.
Yeah.
But I just think like the way it looked and stuff and the relationship, I'd probably go that was my favourite.
I think you've missed one and you're going to kick yourself.
Oh, go on then.
I think the best one, fight on fight, hero villain, is Bucky versus Cap in Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Their fight's incredible.
It's hard to see Bucky as a villain now, isn't it? But
that fight is incredible.
You're right. That is the
fast-paced knife thing.
Yeah. Again, and it's because it's them as well, which makes it even better.
Yeah.
So, Craig wins.
Do you want mine? Dumbledore and Voldemort.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Order the Phoenix.
That is a very good scene. That is a very
Fantastic
good
scene.
scene.
I really enjoyed
Connor
it.
wins. Sorry, Craig.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
You
Yeah,
win
yeah.
You win in comic book
Yeah, no,
and
fair
superhero
enough,
villains,
yeah.
but you win in that is spot
If
on.
we're going
yeah.
down this route, let's go for fucking Anakin versus Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith. Fantastic
Right,
fight.
Optimus Prime, Megatron, transformed.
No, but
yes.
you're right, yeah.
Fair enough. Right, and that is me done. So it's time for trailers.
I was so unprepared for that, but we'll carry on.
It's really just trailer.
Yeah, trailer. Yeah,
Someone take this away.
yeah. So we had a trailer. I'm not sure when it came out. It went past me, completely by me.
I'd only just seen it.
But yeah, we had a trailer for Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Original movie Cinderella.
Let's face it, we're gonna all have to watch this. One, because it's free, not for this, but we're all gonna have to watch it. We just watched it with Craig's other half,
Yeah.
and she looked excited.
She was up for it, yeah.
So
I might be on my phone during that.
So you're going to have to watch it with Holly. Jade already knows of it. Well, I'm going to have to watch it. Yeah, that's right. We've all got...
Surprisingly so.
Yeah, that's right. We've all got girlfriends. But yeah, so we're all going to have to watch it. What did you think?
2 words: tick box.
Yeah.
Elaboration.
It's an absolute tick box exercise. So the fairy godmother is a man. A man of colour, I might add.
Yep.
Not an issue, but it's a tick box.
And a man of different sexuality as well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have minded a woman of colour, but to make it a man who's gay and of colour, it's so forced.
Yeah. Changing the
It is.
character. Cinderella obviously is not the classic in quotes that you'll see. No issue with that, but still it's changing the thing.
Lovely.
She's
I'll put on a
fantastic.
glass of
Comedic about, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Just Googling her.
They've changed the story of Cinderella, so she doesn't want the prince. She wants to be a princess. She wants to be a businesswoman. But they say businessman.
Yeah.
But what made me laugh is because if you're in the UK, you'll know all about this. Probably US as well. It was Dresses by Ella.
Yes.
It just lashes by.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
It was just that.
I thought that exactly when I saw that sign.
But this film,
That went over my head. Wait, so she doesn't... It's not about the prince and that then?
She wants to be a dressmaker,
was a
doesn't she?
dressmaker.
That went past my head.
Yeah, and when she's going to the ball, she put her in like a pantsuit. As Americans,
But no little girl wants to be a businesswoman.
exactly.
I want to be a fairy princess.
But also, they said the original Cinderella actual story is quite horrific.
Yeah,
They could have gone down that route, but they've just taken Disney's version and just changed it slightly, which is not the story which is what they said at the start.
Yeah.
But the moment I lost interest is when in the first 2 seconds it come up Sony Pictures. I'll leave it. So we can get a trailer for this, can we?
Yeah.
I agree. Connor's right, exactly right.
I mean, it won't be a main segment, so don't worry if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
But we'll have a chat about it to see if it is what our expectations are going to be, or if it surprises us, which I think it's not going to be the latter. But anyway,
I'll save you the
and
time.
James Corden's in
Yes, I'll save you the time.
yeah,
James
3
Corden's in it.
British comedians. I'd probably try to jump on that train.
Who was the middle one?
He's from what's that thing? Taskmaster, that show.
Oh yeah.
He's got a weird voice.
Yeah, I know what you mean,
He can
yeah.
be quite funny, actually. I'm not going to lie. Romesh, I don't like. He was the
Rangan
other one.
Nathan, yeah.
Yeah, I don't like him.
And then so
A fat boy Corden.
Yeah.
and Americans do not like Gordon. So
No, I don't. No.
good luck with that one, Amazon Prime.
Well, at least it's free.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
free.
exactly.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, that's trailers.
Okay, so as promised, it's Jungle Cruise time. So we're going to talk about our thoughts, review of it, problems it definitely had, but it was a fun ride. We all appreciate that, but we're going to tell you why. But before we get to those, Connor, what's going on? What's it about?
Well, we have a jungle cruise.
Brilliant. Right, so
So Rock, who plays Frank, not sure of his surname, but we'll call him Skipper.
Yep.
Skipper Frank. He has a jungle cruise to make some money. It's a fun ride. It's basically the ride in Walt Disney World. So he runs that. He owes money to Big Boss Man, who owns the boats. Takes his engine, so he needs to find some money to get an engine. Enter Emily Blunt. She needs to find... she's got some arrowhead, and she needs to find the leaf that gives powers, magical powers.
you're spot on at the minute, Con.
to sum up, basically. She knocks on the Big Boss Man who owns the boat's doors. Who's in there? Skipper Frank, pretending to be
Mr. Danilo.
Mr. Dinilo. Thank you very much. I forgot his name. He agrees to help Emily Blunt on this treacherous journey through the Amazon to get these leaves, or leaf, accompanied by Mr. Jack Whitehall, who is her brother. Very good, by the way. So So they're trekking through the Amazon because the Rock's the only one who knows the path of the Amazon. We'll find out why. They get to the end. They get to the leaves. Do they get the leaves? Find out in spoilers. Mm-hmm. That's basically the story.
Okay, right.
Oh, and there's some crazy snake man and bee people.
So before we, obviously, as usual, non-spoiler and then spoiler. So let's start with Craig cast. Talk to me. Who was good? Who was bad?
All pretty good. To be fair, there's not really anything bad about it. The Rock is just The Rock, so fine. I know we all love The Rock, but he is still the same person in every film.
Yeah.
But he's great. Emily Blunt, I actually really liked this. I thought she was really good as well. Jack Whitehall, which I completely forgot he was even in it before the trailers and that come out and we started talking about it. He was very good.
Yeah.
If obviously it's more English, but if you've seen his comedy the way he is and Bad Education, he was in and stuff like that. It's very much that again. Bit of a hopeless sort of posh boy.
Yeah.
Or even on Netflix, check out the one with his dad. That's funny, and he's basically just that. Who else do we have? Paul Giamatti was 2 minutes of it, so it didn't really matter about that.
Todd from Breaking Bad.
Oh, Todd, yeah, he was brilliant. Still fat, and really good German person. Funny. I liked all of them. To be fair, I liked all of them.
It's hard to say before. Same question to you, Con. It was hard to say anything about what's his name? I think it's Edgar Rodriguez, the snake baddie. Obviously, he's coming up in Borderlands as the villain and stuff like that. But God, that was an easy money day for him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did he just stand there, get computerized, and then have I don't know what other than the scene where with flashbacks and stuff, which we see. Mm-hmm. God, that was enough. I've got nothing to say on him, and that's a shame. He's quite a good actor, but
it didn't really bring that much as a big villain. It didn't really bring that.
It was
much.
It was quite. That's one of my issues.
Yeah.
I know you had more than enough with Fat Ginger Todd, who was very, very good.
Yeah.
Every scene he was in, he sort of stole the show a little bit. To be honest with you, I know you had enough with him as the sort of a side, a secondary villain or whatever. But yeah, that was. I feel like they missed the boat there. Bearing in mind they had $200 million budget, by the way. I didn't even plan that. Not planned.
He for me was the main villain because the other three creatures, if you want to say it like that, the snake man, the bee person, and the mud guy, and the tree person. They were more for me like henchmen. Really, didn't really do much.
Just an obstacle.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much apart from one bit in the village bit. I don't think there was actually much point in them. The story behind it, obviously, which we'll speak about in a minute, it makes sort of sense. But yeah, it wasn't really much for them.
Any same question to you though? Any standouts? Anyone you didn't like?
No one I didn't like. I liked them all. I think the biggest standout that's come out of this film as a whole is the chemistry between the cast.
Yeah,
fantastic. Emily Blunt and The Rock. You wouldn't on paper. You think, will that really work? It was brilliant. And even Jack Whitehall just piping in here and there as the posh sort of bumbling idiot. Really. He was brilliant, and I think the chemistry of the cast really took this film, just rocketed it up. It made it what it was.
Bearing in mind, I know The Rock isn't a fantastic actor, but it's still The Rock. Mm-hmm. And then Emily Blunt, who is probably one of the, bar the obvious, like Meryl Streep, etc. She is one of the best actresses out there currently.
Yeah.
And then you've got Paul Giamatti, he's flawless. He's like absolute OG of acting. He's just brilliant.
Yeah.
So poor little old Jack Whitehall from England, like he must have been absolutely daunting for him in front of this cast. And I did think he held his own, as you said.
I did.
Very intimidating cast to come into.
Exactly.
And it's got to be his first film, maybe. Big blockbuster.
Well, he did that Bad Education film, but other than that,
I have no doubt he's done a few other little, like James Corden done lesbian vampire killers and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that weird little British films. I assume he's done loads of those, but just don't know. But this is a blockbuster. The Rock lead with Emily Blunt. Fair play to him.
Yeah, done well.
Can I tell you one thing I did not like about this film?
Yeah.
Some fucking ropey CGI in it, I tell you that.
It was.
It was.
Really bad. Do you know, I picked out one moment that I don't know if you would even know. Firstly, let's talk about the leopard.
Yep.
Because that looked crap. Proxima, that looked crap.
Did look crap.
It was not good. From that fight scene.
Shoulder barges in.
Yeah. And then even when it's like close up on the boat and, you know, being stroked and stuff like that, it just did not look very good. No. But one bit, which is possibly might have to go down as the most pointless bit of CGI in film I've ever seen. You know the bit when they're being chased by the submarine?
Yeah.
And The Rock jumps off of the boat onto the dock and ties the rope up to spin the boat round. That was all CGI. That rope.
I didn't spot that.
If you watch it again, right? So where he wraps it around the wooden post.
So to anchor him round.
Yeah. He's holding a bit of rope, like for real, but the rest of it's all CGI, and it just looks really janky and really weird. You probably didn't know.
I'll watch it again.
If you see,
spent 20 quid on it.
You might as well. It's yours now. But if you just see that bit just looks really weird, and it's like that was very unnecessary. It looks like something that could have been done quite easily, but it just looked
strange.
weird. It's not a bad point because that was a good bit of the chase scene.
Yeah.
But it just looked weird to me. I was like, they seemed very unnecessary doing this.
Especially with a 200 budget, that's quite shoddy.
And also there was a lot of CGI water.
Yeah.
Considering that they could have probably just filmed it in a massive tank with a boat on.
Yeah.
And water is, when you watch that CGI YouTube videos and stuff, like water is one of the hardest things to get right. And it looked weird.
Well, that's the issue. We'll come on to this before we come on to to full-on spoilers. That's an issue with this film, I think, because they didn't, rather than going out, I don't know if COVID had anything, it's probably done before COVID actually, but they didn't go to like Amazon or to somewhere that looks like Amazon. It was all, as you said, CGI, and they tried to rely on the budget, which didn't come through in the end. The only good thing I'd say on it, the little village with Danilo, Paul Giamatti, I didn't know this until today, they built all of that. Like the boats, the car bar, all the places, and that's quite cool. Yeah. And it did look really good in that little bit, the little village and stuff. But so before we go on spoilers.
I just interrupt one more time. CGI and then weird dolphin things look
that was
awful.
The nightmare dolphins, that was
weird. The
terrible.
only good bit, which is what I've said before, if you make janky CGI, you do it at dark.
Yep.
So the bits with the village attack with the monster people and that, they looked great then. It was dark. Yeah. Daytime CGI, if you're not that good at it, which Disney should be, considering we've seen many things from Marvel and Star Wars and stuff like that, and other Disney stuff.
Got cameo in Mandalorian.
Well, that was a TV show. But no, in the night time, it looked good. Right. The good stuff, and it had a whole bit at the end with the moon and the tree and all that stuff. It all looked really good.
Always getting emotional. No, you're bang on there. So before we go on, let's talk about story because, like, it's pretty obvious to say, but it's very much takes from Pirates of the Caribbean, and a little bit from The Mummy. Those are the two absolutely nowhere near as good as Mummy 1.
I would say Indiana Jones as well.
Yeah, fair point. Well, even that's been their marketing point.
Is it?
Her Doctor Who?
Yes,
Houghton
her
is
character.
a female Indiana Jones.
You know that because obviously
not a lot of Indiana Jones fans likes that.
No, I don't particularly. But Indiana Jones, the character, obviously I love the films, but he's like he lucks out in certain situations, and even from that very start, when she's hanging out the window on the ladder, and it's just she lucks out there, she just drops onto a bus and she's fine. Yeah. It's that sort of thing. So but the Mummy's like that as well. So it's a good amalgamation of all of it.
Because I think there's even a scene, me and you was laughing about this when we was watching it. I said to Connor that there's a bit where Rachel Weisz in The Mummy does a fighting thing on a classic librarian ladder with wheels.
Yes, it is that.
So it is very, very The Mummy, but obviously The Mummy was just absolutely brilliant. So it's nothing. I'm not a patch on that, and it's not a patch on Pirates of the Caribbean 1. But I would say it's probably better than quite a lot of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise to me. Yeah. Maybe not as good as number 1 and 2, but I would probably say it's better than the rest.
Yeah, I think it's because this was fun. Yeah, it didn't take it so like Jack Sparrow is the only really fun character in them films, whereas this was everyone in there was sort of having a laugh, weren't they? Yeah. Apart from the monster people.
We'll call them that. The undead monsters. Did anyone ever... It's hard to talk about the story before we move on, because it's very generic Disney story, isn't it?
It's very easy to follow. As a family film, it needs to be easy to follow, and it was. It was very... This is the goal. Reach the goal. There was no massive... Well, there was one sort of twist, but it was very much, this is it, get here, start, middle, end, done. Mm-hmm. And for a Disney family film, it's
done its job.
So should we just go straight in?
Yep.
Here he goes.
The sirens are sounding. So spoilers from now. Time code's in description. So after, if you don't want to hear spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet, come back after, because I'll let you know when it's finished. And we got What's on Our Screens. I've let it go for ages as well. What's on Our Screens and Scrap. So come back after this.
And if you wait to the very end, Brad's going to give you his login details, so you have to pay for it.
Everyone can have. Right, so here we go. Like Connor just said, run if you don't want spoilers, but just stay anyway. Let's go straight into, because the story's a story. There's no need to get into that. Connor wrapped it up brilliantly in the opening. Let's talk about what Craig didn't like, and that's the twist. Craig, give us an explanation.
I thought it was so basically when they get to they get taken captive by these this tribe in the Amazon, and it's all a bit of a trick. The Rock's hired them, and they're not actually really a tribespeople, and they're not after the arrowhead. The Rock's after the arrowhead because it turns out he's a 400-year-old old man with all the monster people. They were all a big crew from Spain, I guess they are.
Spain.
Not very Spanish, but so there's a big crew, and one of them committed genocide, the main Snake Man, and killed all of them, killed all the children, families, and whatever in this village. And they was cursed to say that they cannot go too far away from the main river, otherwise the forest takes them.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's a really good scene with the Rock's fighting that, and it's a bit of a shock. I was actually shocked because he's pretty much stabbed through the heart and falls very brutally off a big tree house sort of thing.
Every branch.
Hits everything, and then just hits the floor.
Very much a Titanic when he hits the side and it just spins.
Yes, yeah. And I thought that bit was really good. I was like, that's a shock. Oh, Emily Blunt and Jack White was now got maybe with the help of his tribe or whoever has now got to get to there because it was when I looked at it, I think there was still about 40 minutes left of the film. There's quite a lot left.
Yeah,
and then it turns out he's not dead. They actually just find him washed up on the side of a shore, and he's fine. He can't die. And he's actually, and you get the whole backstory of the other 4 monster people, and he's part of them, and he needs it to. He wants the arrow to, basically kill himself at the end of it and end his lifelong 400 years or whatever.
Yeah.
I really didn't like that twist. I don't think it. I just didn't think it was good.
It wasn't really necessary. I don't think. I don't think it really needed,
especially because the ending. It didn't really make it. It didn't make a difference.
No, it would have been better if his motivation was purely money, because you get that from the beginning. Skipper Frank, he's all about money. He needs the boat. He wants to do jungle cruises. That would have been better just to get his
and then
payday.
she makes him sort of change.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I didn't mind it as much, but when it is laid out like that, it probably wasn't that necessary. But as you would have known anyway, The Rock's not going to die in 40 minutes.
No, but I get 40 minutes left to be fair. It's an hour and 20 minutes in, but still, I get that. But I would have actually thought that was a better part of the film if he did actually die, because that was a shock when he died. I thought this geezer's dead. I didn't think this was going to happen, and then it just ruined it. And then by the end of it, there's a whole thing about obviously he wants to take this arrowhead, get the leaf, end his 400 years life, and just die peacefully and whatever. Fine, but that didn't happen at the end either anyway.
Yeah.
So there was really no point of that other bit of the twist.
Yeah.
Because he did what you thought he was going to do from the start when he wanted money and he wanted to go get these leaves and stuff. He just did that at the end. The twist made no difference.
Yeah, well, he's having a good time in London town, wasn't he?
Well, exactly.
His old get up and his purple hat and his jumper.
Yeah, that was weird. I thought he was like a
jacket.
pimp. He looked like a
he
pimp.
did, yeah.
And the leopard just sitting in the back.
Literally.
Yeah, that was allowed, wasn't it? But yeah, it just my point is, if there's a twist, the twist has to have some consequence, and it didn't, because the end result was just what would have happened anyway. He banged on about how he wanted to end his life and rest basically and be at peace now and whatever, and he didn't do that at all. He just carried on his life and wanted to go to London and drive a car.
He met a bird, he met a girl, and he thought, you know what? I'll stick around for another few hundred years. To be fair, I would for Emily.
Yeah, definitely. But the whole backstory bit, he even said that
agree.
he had lovers, he had friends that he had to see die and all this stuff and that, because he just wants to go now, and then he just turns it all in for a brass, basically.
Spot on.
But it's, the rest of it, great. I really enjoyed it.
We'll end on some good notes, or maybe our favourite bit of the film, but I have to hone in on the bad thing again, which Craig just mentioned about earlier. What annoyed me the most, I think, was the henchmen, as we call them now, the undead henchmen. I maybe didn't like the whole twist because The Rock just didn't come across as Spanish to me, as you said. So maybe didn't like that so much. But his story was quite good in the fact that it's talking about Edgar Ramirez. I'm sure his name is Edgar Ramirez.
Yeah, it is.
So his story was quite good. The fact that 400 years ago, his daughter was literally like terminal, dying.
Yeah.
And then he would do anything for his daughter. He heard about this rumour that there's this Tear of the Valley or whatever it's called.
Tears of the Moon.
That's it, Tears of the Moon. So if he goes there, it's a chance. Maybe it's probably bullshit, but it might be true, but he does it anyway. And then obviously when it goes wrong, and I quite like the fact that he's so desperate, even though they were so kind to him, these Aztec voodoo people, that he just slaughters all of them because he's desperate for his daughter. And then when it turns out that the chief puts a curse on him and makes him into this undead thing, when he does come back and he sees The Rock and that, like, why would he not be so angry? That should have been the forefront of the. Don't get me wrong, Jesse Plemons.
Yeah,
he's really good, but they missed a trick there because that story was quite good, and he should have been angry. His daughter's dead.
Yeah,
obviously that was a long time ago. So it would have been cool if even after 400 years he was still that angry and feels that loss. And yeah, they missed a massive trick. And as Craig said, they just become a bit part with one maybe half good scene and become henchmen when the whole linchpin of the Rock story was around his brother or good friend. So that's my thing that I was really, really disappointed with.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the whole bit where when they're in the village and they're sort of fighting and trying to get away, they get away just far enough and all get pulled back. So it's like, so it just needs to stay on the bandages. I don't know if you remember the game on PlayStation 1, the Hercules game.
Oh my God, yeah, do I remember?
You're fighting the three-headed thing.
Yes, yeah.
If you stay far enough away, it just doesn't come near you. It was just basically that. So it's like, let's just go round.
Yeah.
You can't get us if we go
The
round.
Hydra mission.
Yeah, it was just a bit like that. So it's just, I didn't really like that because it was like, well, if you, it's the big bad, but if you just one step back, it can't get you.
Yeah, they didn't go that far, did they? Because they get pulled back to the curses. They have to can't be too far away from the others.
On your point, The Rock knows this.
Yes, he does.
And still led them down a cruise.
Yeah, true.
So
why wouldn't the village people move into the centre of
the
grass a little bit? Don't do it. Let's go 100 feet that way, and then they
it was literally probably less than 100 feet.
We'll never meet them.
No.
But
I feel like The Rock should have said, "I'll get you someone else, and you take a plane." Or helicopter or something.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
He led them down basically the only place where these things could attack them.
Oh, never mind.
Which is why, if that twist wasn't in, that would have made more sense because he wouldn't have known this.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah. Still fun.
So let's just end on, before we wrap up, end on any good notes. Obviously, we've said stuff about the chemistry, but is there a scene that you liked in particular or anything like that? Just like to end it on a good thing here. We're positive people.
I quite enjoyed the scene when they're on the tree and they're running on the branches and getting that. That was quite cool, and visually it's quite nice seeing all the purple with the leaves and stuff. But I also like the underwater bit with The Rock and Emily Blunt, because that bit seemed like there was real consequence.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, because I think he gets knocked out or she gets knocked out and he can't get the air to her.
So the piranhas come and get him, didn't they? Yeah.
So that bit was a bit like, there's the only bit where I was like, oh, it's a bit what's going to happen here. So I quite enjoyed having that.
On that scene, I didn't think that would work if you took in air and then went down and breathed carbon dioxide into someone else's mouth. That's not air, oxygen.
Yeah.
It does.
You trap it. I think you trap it.
It does.
Or you just go,
don't breathe. That is a known, like, not just from film. That's a known, like, from us who are not scientists. If you were to say to me, "Can you breathe if I breathe carbon dioxide into your mouth?" I'd go, "No, I can't."
Yeah,
but it does. That's like
it was a good scene though.
But I think just we've spoke about it. My scene is the Jesse Plemons with the turbo guns, Gatling guns shooting, and then that, as you said, although it was the ropey, I'm looking forward to have a look at that ropey rope. But I was really cool in that village that was all built and set. The veering sort of chase and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. And a submarine, it just added to it. But it was a fun ride.
Yeah. Also, they've updated the ride in Disney World.
Have they?
Not to the film, but they've added new scenes, so just spruced it up.
Right.
So I think soon you'll see.
Spruced.
Well, they have. It was dated.
I love the word. No, sorry. Just
as the Pirates ride did, where they added Jack Sparrow, I think you can probably expect to see Skipper Frank somewhere along the sort of shores.
Maybe just on a boat.
Yeah.
in the back of that.
Yeah, I think they'll
Cardboard cutout.
Or they could even just do that, the snake monster people men just in the bushes.
Yeah, or in the cave.
The cave bit. Yeah.
I think in terms of sort of where this ranks on rides to film, it's probably, it goes Pirates for me, and then this, and then Haunted Mansion. It shouldn't even get mentioned because it's dog shit.
Mm-hmm. Where does Mummy 1 come?
Well, that's the other way around though. The Mummy film was around before the ride.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, fair play.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. Good ride.
I guess we wait for the Tower of Terror film now and see what happens with that.
Hey, one thing, just a quick mention. The Rock did say on Twitter to a fan question, they are speaking about a sequel. I think it was the week just gone. So it wouldn't surprise me, but just a quick rundown. I checked Forbes today, and apparently it's made 64.4 million at the box office, which is not great. That's globally, and it's like I said, 200 mil budget, and I think it's made about 30 to 40 million on Disney Plus, something like that. So yeah, it's it's a worry.
Yeah.
Again, don't need to go into it again. Obviously, we went through it at the beginning of the podcast, but yeah, US box office is not looking strong at the minute, especially for an Emily Blunt and The Rock-led film.
It seems like worldwide, though, it hasn't really done that well either.
No, it's not great. So yeah, we'll have to see on that. But yeah, maybe we'll get a sequel, and I wouldn't mind to see one.
Yeah, I'd watch
There,
it.
I said it.
What on earth would that be?
I have no
He's
idea.
healed now. He's just a normal man.
Yeah. Jingle Cruise.
Jingle Cruise.
He's already doing Father Christmas. But yeah, so that's it.
What's on our screens?
Yeah.
That's right.
No
jingle.
jingle.
Yeah.
I've got the same bits. There's something I want to watch, but what I'm watching at the minute is Dave. I've caught up with that.
Oh, yeah.
Still very funny.
Still need to watch that.
Yeah, much better than season 1. Very good. And Sopranos, I'm powering through season 3. It's fantastic. I can't say it enough. But there is a show on Disney Plus, which you might have to come back to me as I find it, but come back to me because I'll tell you what it is.
Oh, I'll come back to you, all right. Shall we, this might be a good time because you've not seen it, for me and Craig to update the listeners on what we think of Star Wars Bad Batch, which has just been...
renewed for Series 2. They've already put it out saying... which is strange because...
No consequence to the finale now.
No, exactly, yeah. And also all the clones die out, so obviously this, they don't, so...
There you
I don't
go.
know. But yeah, no,
season two.
which Bad Batch. As we've said every week, it's been fine. A few good episodes, a few poor. It's been fine. The finale is part 1, part 2. And again, my reasoning behind Kenobi is this is, again, quite an interesting time for Star Wars because it's when the clones are being phased out and the stormtroopers are coming in. They're getting actual new recruits. They blew up Geonosis, the whole clone facility, which was quite good to see because people have often asked in things after that. So is that still about? Can they just make more clones and stuff like this? So the finale was very good. Well, part 1, the finale was very good, I thought.
I pretty much agree. The part of the finale was very good. I could count on sort of one hand, maybe less, of good episodes. The Cad Bane arc, very little arc, but that was great to see him back. He's a brilliant character. I would probably go as far to say this is quite a forgettable series.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the benefit of the doubt I'll give is that I remember watching Clone Wars and wasn't overly impressed with the series 1 of that. And that turned out to be a fantastic series overall. So no excuse so much because obviously Invincible come out and that was a 9 out of 10 series. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I will give it the benefit of the doubt because, as Craig says, obviously knows a lot more. But it is a good period and I feel like they dropped the ball with the Bad Batch and it wasn't centered around them as much. And it was Omega, the little girl, which I hope we don't see a lot of. Let's just kill her off in the finale. but yeah, so quite forgettable overall. But I was quite excited to see a Bad Batch 2, which doesn't really make sense what I said. But
I'm exactly the same as you. I'm not that bothered about this series, but when I say season 2, I went, you know what? Okay, cool.
Great. Yeah.
Because it's a very just pop it on, 25 minutes or whatever, just put it on. It doesn't really matter whether you pay that much attention to it.
It gets us to next year when you've got some amazing live action ones coming. So
fine,
The one I had is a recommendation from Luke, actually. Disney Plus is called Behind the Attraction. It's about like how rides were made.
Sorry, no, I thought you were talking about someone else. Then. What, is it all in Disney and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that is
How they
top.
make the rides.
yeah.
So
Didn't know that.
worth a watch.
Is it each episode different ride or something?
I think so. I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, I think so.
Want to finish off what you got on your screen, Greg?
Well, Bad Batch and I've into the Trinity series of Dexter.
Oh, yeah.
How deep we in?
I think 5 now. I think there's like 10 in it, or 12 in this series, but I forgot how good he is. John Lithgow's
good.
fantastic in it.
So good.
It's a good series from actual Dexter's point of view as well. I don't know if you remember it. Obviously, he's tired from the baby and that, and then he messes up one of his kills and stuff, and he's panicking, and he has the big car crash and stuff like that. It's good from that side of it as well. It isn't just another. He's cool, calm, and connected, and there's another serial killer out there. It's quite good from both points of view. I think that's it. Oh, Love Island. No, we're not talking about it. But yeah, that's it. Ready? I haven't got anything else.
So as I mentioned earlier, I watched VPN. Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Because obviously Asian rights. But yeah, so I watched it. I probably enjoyed it the second time round because you know what it's about. It's such a good film.
Yeah.
Really did have fun again with it, even though I've only just watched it. Then I'm halfway through season 10 of Walking Dead now. Really can see I'm annoyed with my past Brad for giving up because this series 9 and 10 took a turn very creepy. I know it's Walking Dead has been in the past, but really good with the Whisperers and stuff like that now. Really, really good series. Looking forward because we've got not long, and I think it's August 22nd is the final season, 11th season. So I need to hurry up.
I have tried to put that on so many times. I thought because Isabel won't watch it, so when she goes to bed, I'll go up and put it on Disney Plus on the star bit. I've gone to click it, and I found exactly where I left off. And I've gone to click it so many times. I go, I can't be asked.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to the bit with the Whisperers? Because I didn't.
No.
And I started watching it. I think it's the end or the start of season 9, because Negan's fully closed in season 8, and he's kept alive in a prison to show what the world's now become without him and stuff. But yeah, so Rick's now gone. I saw all that, and he's not in it. He's not dead though. And
they confirmed his film before he even died in the series.
It's really strange. But yeah, so he's alive, but even though his daughter's out there, he's not coming back. So we'll see. Probably, maybe he's been kept captive. I don't know. But but the Whisperers are really creepy. I remember season 9 started, and it starts with this herd going, and at the end of the episode, they've covered themselves in mud because they're trapped. One of them's their knees like buckled. They're covering themselves in mud, a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator, and they're hiding for this herd to go past the walkers. But then you hear a whisper, and they think of saying, "Where are they?" but in a really creepy walker voice. And I'm like, have they evolved? And it turns out they haven't. It's this group that hide themselves in the herds. Really, really good. And there's about 2 or 3 of them, and they don't know who's who. And there's one really good character called Jesus. You might remember him with the hair.
Yeah, I remember him.
And he's really good at martial arts and stuff. And he's taking down this herd, saving these people. It's really, really cool. Spoiler alert, it's ages ago. And then obviously he goes, this one's left, and it's coming towards him, and he just gets his sword and just casually goes to like they do because it's slowly.
Yeah.
And the thing dodges and stabs him. And it's a person, and he pulled off the skin and that. So it's very, very different stakes. It's different. It's very, very good. So I'm excited to see what comes.
I'm going to say it again. I will carry on. And next week I'll tell you exactly the same thing.
And then, we've already spoken about Bad Batch, so that's it for me. But our What's on Our Screens next segment is going to be fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've got, obviously, Superman and Lois, penultimate episode's back.
Oh, yes.
We've got What If? We've got Titans, season 3.
Yeah.
There's something else, I'm sure there is. But so maybe we'll have to think about how to do that. But it's a good time for TV.
Yeah. Scraps?
Yeah.
Scraps.
Box of scraps!
Box of the old scrappies.
That's what it is.
I got one scrap.
Go.
So, STX Entertainment, which are a studio behind Bad Mums and Hustlers, are selling off their film library to pay off debt
Oh dear,
due to the pandemic.
Who's paying for that? Who's buying that?
I think
Netflix probably.
so they've got a 46 film library and they're selling it all off.
I'd love to know what the 46 are made out of.
Yeah, I know. I didn't go into it more.
Straight to TV ones.
Yeah. But yeah, struggle.
Cool. I have 2. No, I have 3. Forgot to mention it earlier, someone say it now. Quick one. Emily Van Camp, Agent 13. What's her name, Carter?
Sharon
Carter. This one apparently is going to be in Moon Knight. Fine, whatever.
Need to see her. Otherwise, what was the point of the American?
Well, I thought the whole point was she's going to be in Armor Wars because she probably will be in all of it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Arsenal answered.
And then a strange thing that come out. Stephen Lang from original Avatar, who very definitely died by many huge arrows in the chest, has said he's read the script for Avatar 5 and says it's beautiful. Apparently, it's absolutely beautiful.
Was he reading it?
I don't know. He said he wept when he read it. I don't know why he's reading it. I don't know why Avatar 5's happening. 2 and 3, I know, is finished filming. They did back to back, didn't they? So obviously 4 and 5 is happening. The scripts are there, but why he's reading it, who knows?
Odd.
Yeah, that's it. Do you think of that? Anything of that?
I mean, obviously excited for Avatar, but I was when you put that in the chat, I was very surprised. Maybe we're getting a flashback of what happened. I don't know. Yeah. I really don't know. But to see someone definitely dead talking about 4 films down the line, what is going on there? But I trust James Cameron, so
unless it's a prequel when they first got there, he's a main character.
Could be.
Well, by the time that comes out, he's going to be considerably older. Yeah. It was 2009 it come out.
Yeah.
He's got another 4 films to go.
Forget the de-age, you just kill him off. Forget it. Do you quickly say about Christian Bale? What did you think of his marble look?
Oh, yeah. So Christian Bale's been pictured as Gore the God Butcher on Thor and Love and Thunder. Looked weird to me.
We'll trust the CGI. Weird. We'll trust the
VFX, it's going to need some because that just looks like a big statue.
Yeah, I thought that.
Really
you know
weird.
that people that have like a tin for money and they
that's it. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Like that. You know when they painted their clothes white, it looks all stiff.
Yeah.
It looked odd. Go check it out. It's on the socials. So there was 2 more things.
Yeah.
James Gunn has commented on Martin Scorsese's comments about Marvel Studios. Obviously, James back in the good book with Marvel now, so he's defending them. He says the only thing that would get him press for his movie is the comments he made. He said he's creating his movie in the shadow of Marvel these days and uses that to get attention.
Big words, that is.
That's
He does. I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
He does go on because it was. I actually listened to a bit of it. It's that Josh Horowitz and the Happy Sad podcast. He was saying how much he's like the best filmmaker he believes, and he loves him. But to come out and say things that like Marvel is not, you shouldn't be in cinemas and stuff.
Yeah.
You want that is for some, and I think that's a
it's
fair
just unnecessary
comment.
for him to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to finish with something that I actually might keep going every week. A weird film fact. Can I give you it?
Read that in. I love
So
that.
listen
shit.
to this, right? So Jackie Chan dubbed the Beast's line in the Chinese translation of Beauty and the Beast in the animated version, and he also sang all the songs in fluent Mandarin.
Did he?
Yep.
What?
So Jackie Chan was the Beast in the Chinese translation of it, and sung every song in Mandarin. I saw it the other day, and I thought that's mental.
I love it. See, give me facts like that. Segment made.
I saw that and I went, that's just so weird. I need to say it. But yeah,
Very
that's
weird.
it. That's
He's
me
got
done.
a few studio albums, isn't he?
Yes, he has, yeah.
He's a pop star.
Is he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pop star. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say to that.
Like hotel, he's got everything. He does what he wants.
I want to see a collab between him and Vin Diesel.
Love it. I've only got a couple. I don't know if anyone saw the weird comments from Jake Gyllenhaal about his. No. So, obviously some celebrities are weird. Mm-hmm. And, for example, like Gwyneth Paltrow and her vagina candles.
Oh, yeah.
He come out and said, Jake Gyllenhaal, I don't know, it's quite a bit of a thing in Hollywood at the minute that they don't believe in bathing, showering.
I've heard this, yeah.
So he's come out and said, and this is full quotes now, so it's not me, good manners and bad breath get you nowhere. So I do that. But I do think there's a whole world of not bathing that is really helpful for skin maintenance, and we naturally should clean ourselves. So what the fuck?
So he licks himself like a cat.
Is that what he's trying to say? I
don't know.
But so he doesn't bath every day or shower. And there's a few, I read a lot of people come up with like other celebrities that have said similar sort of things.
It's a bit of a weird thing going on at the moment.
And like, why would you volunteer that information if that's what you believe?
Another bit that was said about it is that it said like dermatologists don't recommend you bath and shower every day because of using the cosmetics on you and stuff like that. Apparently, it can ruin your skin.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Same with like washing your hair every day or whatever. So there was a few people backing up this sort of stuff with scientific proof or whatever, but it's just weird to come out with.
That is very odd.
I mean,
You
sometimes
do, Jake. Don't you have to tell everyone.
I think we're talking about you filming me, mate. You do you. But yeah, more moving on to other matters. Just a quick one. Ryan Reynolds, I think it was in an interview, probably for Free Guy. I think it was just sort of promoting. He was asked about Deadpool 3. Of course he will be. And he gave quite a detailed response in it. But some of the highlights was that he was asked when production would probably start, and he's in inverted commas and quote, there's a pretty good, damn good chance it will start next year. You then went about an 80% chance. So fingers crossed that kicks off next year because I'd love to see that. And then as we known for a while now, but just good to hear it from the horse's mouth and Ryan himself, it's definitely going to be R-rated, which is great, and it will be MCU canon.
Good.
So... loads of unknowns in terms of that at the minute, but that's what's great about it. So very, very happy with that. And hurry, it's been a while now. That needs to enter production. And I think that one more thing, The Rock, Hiram Garcia gave an update. He's definitely out of Fast and Furious 10 and 11, definitely out of it.
Yeah.
And then for the people that for some reason are really desperate of the Hobbs and Shaw sequel, I wouldn't say I'm desperate, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. He has said that, nope, don't worry, that still is sort of in early development, and they very much have ideas for it, and it's going to be big. And also Jumanji 3 is still going ahead, or Jumanji 4, it's technically not a reboot, that is it? So, yeah.
Who cares?
Exactly, yeah. And that's me wrapped up. So is that the show?
That's the show.
That's the show. Right, so next week, as we just said, segue, Free Guy, hits theatres. That looks I'm going to say it sounds geeky to say, it looks a ton of fun.
It does, yeah.
Could I just say something about Free Guy? Did you see what come out about that? Like the Easter eggs that are in it? There's like all Easter eggs, obviously, for video games and stuff like that, but people like Ninja and Pokimane or something, who's a famous streamer, apparently they're in it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I was like,
didn't know
that's
that.
quite a good way of doing
There's been some new posters released today. I don't know if you saw it, and they're like, so a GTA front cover.
Yeah.
It's like Free Guy and stuff.
Oh,
and
that's quite good.
It looks, and Lego, it really, really can't, I'll show you after this. But yeah, so we've got the Free Guy episode. We're going to do a deep dive like we've done with the Suicide Squad. Check that episode out. And what we've done today with Jungle Cruise. All the latest news again, as we say every week. And of course, boxes, scraps, etc. So come on back.
Yeah, we love you.
But yeah, check us out on the socials. Everything's there, from minute stuff to production details to big stop topics. Do it.
Come back. We love you.
And where do they need to check it out?
And they do need to check it out at Weekly Cut, whether it's YouTube, Insta, or Twitter. Go check us out. And yeah, as Connor just said, I think he said, I love you, did you?
Yeah, I love you.
Us or them?
Everyone.
Everyone. I love the world. Calm down.
What a way to finish.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Mate.